Hey guys, today I thought we'd work on the SOL 8.3 worksheet, so let's get started. Question number 1. Between which pair of consecutive integers does negative square root of 13 fall on a number line? Remember that the word consecutive means in order, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's go to our calculator, and we're going to type in the square root of 13. Actually, let's go back and let's type in negative square root of 13. And we can see that we get negative 3.6055. So I'm going to write that on my paper, negative 3.6055. So negative 3.6, that's going to be between negative 3 and negative 4. So their best answer choice is A. Okay, number 2. Between which pair of consecutive integers does the square root of 215 fall on a number line? Again, consecutive means that it's in the same order. So let's look at our calculator again. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to clear that, and we're doing the square root of 215. So the square root of 215, we get 14.66. So I'm just going to go ahead and write that down on my paper, and I can see that that's positive. So 14.66 would become between 14 and 15. Be careful, because C says 14 and 16, but this one would be between 14 and 15. 14 and 16 are not consecutive numbers like 14 and 15 are. So the answer is D. All right, number 3. Which of these is the best estimate for the solution of x squared equals 172? Well, remember when we were doing the Pythagorean theorem the other week and we had like c squared equals something, and we were just trying to figure out what c was, not c squared, and to get rid of the little square, we did the square root. So that's what we need to do on this problem. We need to do the square root of 172. So let's go over to our calculator. Let's clear this out, and we're going to do the square root of 172, and we get 13.11. So I'm going to write that down, 13.11. Sorry about that. Now, so when we look at it, we can see that the best estimate, 13.11, is closer to 13 than it is to 14, so we want to pick letter choice C. Number 4, which of these is a solution to x squared equals 36? Again, we're just going to do the square root of 36. And if we come over to our calculator and we're going to type in the square root of 36, this time I get 6. So that's just 6. I'll write that down on my paper. Now, if you look at your answer choices, you'll see this time that it has a positive and a negative. Well, that's because 6 times 6 is 36. But remember, negative 6 times negative 6 is also positive 36. So we need to choose answer choice B. Okay, number 5. Now we're to the section that says select all the correct answers. So there may be more than one answer. Which of these is a solution of x squared equals 1 over the square root of 81? So we have to do the square root of 1 over 81. Let's go to our calculator, clear all this out, and we're going to do the square root of 1, and then we're going to divide it by 81. We get 0.11 repeating. So if I put that down on my paper, 0.11, and that's repeating. Well, all my answers are fractions. So let's use our calculator to change our fractions into decimals and see if we can find one that matches. So I'm not going to erase what I did. I'm just going to skip down another line, And my first one is 1/9. So I'm just going to do 1 divided by 9. And it matches. So our answer is letter choice A, 1/9. Another way to do this problem is we could have done it in the square root of 1 and the square root of 81, and that would have just given us 1/9, which is the same thing, but either way works. All right, let's look at number 6. Which of these is a possible solution of x squared equals 256? So we've got to get rid of our square, so we're just going to do the square root of 256. So let's go to our calculator. We'll clear this out, clear it all, and we're going to do the square root of 256, and we get the answer 16. Okay, so I'm going to write 16 down. Let's look at our answer choices. Okay, the first answer is -16. So we kind of need to think about it because, you know, our first reaction is, no, that's not it. But if we did -16 times -16, let's see what happens when we do that on our calculator. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to just scroll down. I'm going to do -16 times -16. And I got positive 256 because remember, a negative times a negative is a positive. So we want to include a -16. For the next one, we get 16, which we know we already have that. We don't want 0, we don't want 22, we don't want -22. So we're done with number 6. All right, number 7, same type of problem. Which of these is a possible solution of x squared equals -256? Well, let's see what happens. That means we have to do the square root of -256. So let's go to our calculator. I'm going to clear this out from where we had it before. And we're going to do the square root of -256. And it says that it is undefined. Remember that we can't have a negative under the square root symbol, under the radical. If we do, it is undefined. So if we look at our answer choices, the best choice for number 7 is going to be F, none of the above, because it is undefined. Okay? All right. Let's look at number 8. Move my paper a little bit. What are the possible integer solutions to the equation x squared equals 289? So we're going to do our square root of 289. And remember, our answer could be a positive or a negative. So let's see what we get when we do the square root of 289. So let's clear this out, and we're going to do the square root of 289, and we get 17. So we are looking for, move my paper, positive or negative 17. So we definitely want to choose A, and we definitely want to choose B. Sorry about this, isn't the best. My hand keeps getting in the way. I keep having to move my paper, but hey, we'll get through it. So for number 8, you want to have A and B. Number 9, which of the following numbers fall between 15 and 20 on a number line? So we're going to have to take the square root of each of these numbers and then write our answer on our paper. So let's look at A, the square root of 220. So I'm going to go back to my calculator. I'm going to do the square root of 220, and I get 14.8. I'm going to go ahead and write that down, 14.8. I'm just going to write my answers down real quick, and then we'll go back to figure out what falls in between. So the next one is the square root of 17. So I do square root of 17, and I get 4.12. So I'm just going to write that down on my paper, 4.12. C is the square root of 256. I'm just backspacing 256, and I get 16. So let's add that to our paper. Now we have the square root of 231. So we're going to go back. We're going to backspace. We're going to 231. And we get 15.19. So let's add that to our paper, 15.19. Now we have the square root of 375. So we'll go back, square root of 375. We get 19.36. So add that down to our paper, 19.36. And the last one is the square root of 410. So let's put that in, square root of 410. We get 20.24. So 20.24. Okay, so our question says, which of the following numbers fall between 15 and 20? So anywhere 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and it's got to end right at 20. So we don't want A, that's too small. We don't want B, that's too small. 16 definitely comes on a number line between 15 and 20. So we want to pick letter choice C. But remember, this can have more than one answer. So let's look at D, 15.19. Well, that comes between 15 and 20. It's bigger than 15, but less than 20. 19.36, that'll definitely work. And then 20.24, well, it's got the 20, but it's a little bit bigger, and we want them to be between 15 and 20, so we don't want to pick F. All right, last question, number 10. Which of the numbers fall between 0 and 1 on a number line? So this is the same type of question as number 9 was. So let's go ahead and put this in our calculator. A is the square root of 2. So I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to do square root of 2. And we get 1.41. I'm going to add that to my paper, 1.41. Then we have negative square root of 2. Well, guys, all we have to do is put the negative symbol in front of 1.41. That's the easy way of doing that. C is the square root of 1/4. So I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to do 1 divided by 4. And we get 0.5. So let's write that down, 0.5. Now we have 89 over 93. So let's go back and backspace, and we're going to do 89 divided by 93, and we get 0.97. 0.97. All right, so the next one, we get 1 minus the square root of 89 divided by 93. So I'm just going to go back up here. I'm going to click in front, and I'm going to add in the 1 minus. And now I have 0.02. So 0.02. And then same type of question, but now instead of having a minus, we've got a plus. So we can just go back up here, backspace this. I'm going to make this plus. Maybe I'm going to make it, okay, plus, and I get 1.97. So let's add that to our paper, 1.97. Okay, so for number 10, which of the following numbers fall between 0 and 1 on a number line? So it's got to be bigger than 0, but less than 1. So if we look at A, we get 1.41. Well, that's bigger than 1. We don't want it. Negative 1.41, that's smaller than 0. We don't want it. 0.5, it is definitely bigger than 0, and it is less than 1. So we want to choose answer choice C. Let's keep going. D, 0.97. Again, bigger than 0, but less than 1. We want to count D. Letter E, 0.02. Bigger than 0, less than 1. We want to count E. And the last one, F, we have 1.97. Well, that's bigger than 1. It's not between 0 and 1, so we don't want to count letter F. So that's the 10 problems from worksheet 8.3. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or chat with me on Google Classroom, and I'll see you later. Bye.